could join us. Now, the Cabinet Secretaries Margaret Kobia and Sicily Kariuki have failed to appear before the Public Accounts Committee on the probe of 8 billion shillings loss at the National Youth Service. The PAC chairperson, Opio Wandai, confirmed that Kariuki had written to the committee asking for a reschedule as she's out of the country attending the Harvard Ministerial Leadership Program. But for more details on this, let's speak to Patrick Amimo. Amimo, good afternoon. With, of course, Sicily Kariuki asking for a reschedule, what was the reason given by Margaret Kobia, her counterpart?
Good afternoon. The National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee has just had a session with two principal secretaries in the Ministry of Gender, that is Safina Kwekwe and Dr. Julius Muya, who is the PS in charge of planning. They were to answer to audit queries relating to the financial year 2014-2015, where the auditor has put to question some of the expenditures at the ministry. And these two PSs, when they appeared before the committee, it appeared they did not have sufficient answers to tell the committee members on what really transpired in those years, because at least 1.9 billion shillings was spent without having a budget provided for it. And members were curious to know how the ministry went ahead to spend 1.9 billion shillings of taxpayers' money without a budget for that. And there was a ping-pong between ministries here, involving one on housing, then the Minister of Lands. This money was meant to construct market centres in various parts of the country. But the Minister of Lands did indicate that they did not receive the 1.9 billion shillings. They say the only money they can account for is 120 million shillings. So what the members decided was to send these two PSs back to come with full answers with regard to how this money, the ministry went up spending 1.9 billion shillings without a budget. It's something that the members want to come to the bottom of it, because last week when we saw the PS planning, and Dr. Muya, when he appeared before the committee, he was also lost of words to explain some of these expenditures, especially with regard to 17.5 billion shillings, which was spent in these two financial years, that is 2014-2015 and 2015-2016, where the ministry did indicate that this money was spent purchasing these assets, but then there was no documentation for that for those assets. So it's something that the committee is seized of the matter, and they want the matter cleared, because it appears the ministry is trying to not to come. The ministry is being very, very economical with answers with regard to how these colossal amounts of money was spent in those two financial years. Akisa?
So then when next do we expect these CSs to appear before PAC?
Yes, the committee was very eager to have the CS, the current CS for Health, Sicily Kariuki, appear before the committee, because she was the principal secretary during this time when this money, where these questionable amounts were spent by the ministry. But the CS did indicate that she's out of the country. She is in the United States of America attending a Harvard leadership meeting, and she says she's been cleared by the presidency to attend that particular meeting. But members are very concerned in that even last week we saw when the members from the Department of Agriculture, when they appeared before the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee, they're also pointing fingers at Sicily Kariuki when she was the PS in charge of agriculture, because that time also a lot of money, fertilizer worth billions of shillings, was spent and in a very questionable manner, and it appears public funds were embezzled during her tenure. And members are very concerned that even at NYS, things are happening in the youth ministry when she was the PS in charge of youth affairs, and they want her to come and appear before the committee in person. So the committee will find time when they'll have to invite Sicily Kariuki to appear before it, but it is a must. They are very, very eager, and she must appear before the committee as a matter of urgency. So Professor Margaret Kobia, who is the CS in charge of public affairs and youth, she had indicated that she's also out of the country, but she had asked them, she had requested to be given more time to appear, another time to appear before the committee, and the committee is also of the opinion that the two will be given their time to appear before the committee. But of very, very, very significant attention will be the CS Sicily Kariuki, because it appears even when it comes to matters of agriculture, there are questions about how the things were done during her tenure, and also now when it comes to matters youth affairs. So I think Sicily Kariuki will be a person of interest, and members of the Public Accounts Committee, and together with those of agriculture, may be very, very eager to know from her how things went in that period, 2014 until 2016. Akisa.
Thank you for that update. Patrick Mimo is our senior parliamentary reporter, of course, just giving us details of how things went down earlier on in the morning and the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly this morning.